It is 15 hours, and if you have made it this far, chosen one, at this exact moment, with this exact weight on your chest, I need you to stop everything you are doing, because this is no ordinary hour on heaven's clock. 15 hours is the mark. 15 hours is the seal. 15 hours is the exact point at which something inside you has been torn to awaken. It was at 15 hours that the veil of the temple was torn in 2 pieces. It was at 15 hours that the earth shook, that the sun darkened, that the rocks split apart. It was at 15 hours that a voice declared, "It is finished." And at that same instant, in the spiritual dimension, something was triggered within the identity of every son and daughter who would come to be born under that promise. And it is precisely at this hour, chosen one, that God stirred, not just awakened, but stirred, poked, roared over, the lion that slept within your identity. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind still cannot name? It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's not an existential crisis. It's a sign. It's the lion stirring in the den where the enemy tried to bury him alive. There's a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. A game that involves your consciousness, your spiritual authority, and the lion-like identity you were destined to fulfill in this transition that has already begun. Think, chosen one, what if everything you've always felt? This strangeness, this hunger for something greater, this holy anger that ignites when you see injustice, this strange courage that appears when everyone else runs, this deep discomfort when someone tries to belittle you, was exactly the proof that you are not a lost sheep in this story, but a lion who was temporarily convinced that he was a house cat. You need to understand this now, because this is the point where everything begins to change. There is a very old strategy from the dark realm, and it does not consist of killing the lion. The enemy knows he has no power to kill what God has already called by name. His strategy is another, much more sophisticated, to convince the lion that he is a cat, to make the cub of the tribe of Judah grow up surrounded by broken mirrors, reflecting an image that is not his, to give you nicknames that were not taken from heaven, to instill fears that were not created for your soul, to teach you to walk hunched over, to speak softly, to apologize for your presence, to ask permission to exist, to think that peace is the same as silence, to confuse meekness with cowardly submission. And while you believed in that distorted reflection, the lion inside you slept, suffocated beneath layers and layers of religious lies, social lies, familial lies, and most importantly, spiritual lies, disguised as spirituality. But something changed at 15 hours. Something broke. And you are feeling it now, exactly at this minute. That's why this strangeness doesn't go away. That's why this restlessness doesn't sleep. That's why this low roar rises in your chest when you hear certain words like the word chosen, like the word identity, like the word lion. That's why this tear falls for no apparent reason when someone truly sees you for the first time. It's not weakness, chosen one. It's a lion awakening inside a cage that he just discovered is made of paper. That's why I wrote this digital book, Guide for the Chosen to Protect the Family. This book is not just reading, because a lion that wakes up not knowing who he is, not understanding the rules of the territory where he has been placed, not recognizing the scent of the enemies that surrounded his house while he slept deeply, becomes easy prey for the first trap the enemy sets. This guide is the map. A map that shows who is playing against your lion-like identity, what the rules are that were never told to you about the silent war happening within your own home and within your own mind, and what ancient revelations have already pointed to the exact moment we are living, this moment of 15 hours in human history. This book was created for those who have awakened enough to know that reality is much deeper than what is taught in the shallow speeches that dominate current times, and who are ready to go beyond the lukewarm answers that the religious world offers to lions it insists on treating as sheep. The link is in the first pinned comment at the top. But I need to warn you, chosen one, this type of content rarely stays available for long. What is in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, because an awakened lion, with its identity restored, within a protected family, is exactly the type of creature that the dark realm fears the most. and there have been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen ones, because you didn't arrive at this video at this exact hour with this lion stirring in your chest by accident. Download now and comment below, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." This comment, chosen one, is your first public roar. It is your declaration before heaven and earth that the lion has awoken and will no longer accept to live like a cat. Now that you've made this commitment, chosen one, I can tell you the next layer of this revelation, because what comes next is the blow that breaks the paper cage where you were trapped. There is a detail about the hour of 15 hours that few preachers dare to touch. When Christ, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, shouted, "It is finished," that shout was not a lament. It was a roar. The Lion of Judah roared over the nations, roared over principalities, roared over powers, roared over all the legions that had allied to silence the voice of life on earth forever. And the roar of that lion did not die on the cross. It spread through time. It crossed ages. It entered ordinary men and women throughout the centuries. And a part of that roar, chosen one, is deposited within you. You carry a leonine frequency that was sealed in your spirit even before you were born. When the Father called you by your true name, not the name on your birth certificate, but the name written on the white stone, He deposited in you an echo of that roar of 15 hours. And that is why everything in the enemy works to ensure that you never open your mouth, to ensure that you never discover the sound of your own authoritative voice, to make you die believing that you were made to meow in apology for your existence. But God has provoked this lion now. Not tomorrow, not in the next revival now. And you need to understand the meaning of the word provoke. Awaking is gentle. Stirring is soft. Provoking is different. Provoking is to poke the lion exactly at the spot where it feels the most. It is to put a finger on the wound it pretended had healed. It is to let just that type of injustice, that type of betrayal, that type of affront that makes any true lion raise its head and show its teeth, pass right in front of the den. Look at your life in the past few months, chosen one. Look at what happened in your family. Look at the people who distanced themselves. Look at the absurd situations that have piled up on you. Look at the unexplainable exhaustion, the attacks that came out of nowhere, the constant feeling of being tested in ways you couldn't foresee. You thought it was bad luck. You thought it was a lack of faith. You thought it was a bad cycle. It was none of that. It was divine provocation. It was God allowing all of that to pass right in front of your den to force you to lift your head. Because the domesticated lion dies peacefully, but the provoked lion remembers who it is. And this remembrance, chosen one, is precisely what this digital book Guide for the Chosen to Protect the Family aims to. Family gives back to you in a structured way, page by page. This book is not just a pleasant read for a late afternoon. This book is the collar you tear from your own neck as you read. It is a map that shows who is playing against your lion identity within your own home. Because yes, often the most dangerous spell dines at your own table. The map shows what the rules are that you were never told about, how an entire family is sealed when a lion truly awakens, and what ancient traditions and revelations recorded in forgotten writings have already pointed out about the exact moment we are living. This moment of 15 hours marked on the clock of heaven so that the sleeping lions finally rise together. This book was created for those who have already awakened enough to know that the reality of the spiritual world is much deeper than taught, and who are ready to go beyond the shallow answers that circulate out there, repeating cliches, without ever touching what truly confines a lion. The link is in the first comment pinned at the top. But I must warn you, chosen one, this type of content rarely stays available for long. What is in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, and there have been attempts to silence this knowledge before, because nothing frightens the dark realm more than a lion reading, in the light of revelation, the name of every trap set against his house. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen ones, because you didn't arrive at this part of the text, exactly at this excerpt, exactly feeling what you are feeling, by accident. Download now and write in the comments, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." This written roar is the second step. The first was to wake up. The second is to speak. And now comes the part that very few preachers dare to touch, chosen one. Because there is something about the 15 hours that connects directly with your dormant identity. And when this piece fits in the puzzle of your life, you will never be able to walk hunched over again. The 15 hours mark the end of a system. When Christ roared on the cross, what ended was not just the cycle of animal blood on the altars. What ended was the entire system that kept the children of God in the position of frightened servants. The veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and that chosen one is the key. From top to bottom means that it was God and not man who decided to end the separation. And when that veil tore, all the reduced identity system that kept the children as servants crumbled along with it. From the 15 hours of that day, the original lion position, crown, authority, territory, voice, was returned in principle to everyone who would be called by the name of the Father. The problem is that the world, the systems, the religions, the families wrapped in ancient curses, and even the empty preachings have specialized in hiding this return. They continued preaching children as if they were still servants. They kept teaching lions to feel like cats. They continued treating crowns as unnecessary weight, and an entire generation grew up without knowing that they had already been crowned at 15 hours. At the moment, the veil was torn. But there is more, chosen one. There is another layer, because the dark realm, knowing it lost the main game at that moment, set up a meticulous operation to ensure that every rising lion was captured while still a cub, captured by words, captured by traumas, captured by generations of untreated family wounds, captured by churches that teach to settle for crumbs on the ground when the throne is vacant and waiting, captured by relationships where the person needed to be less for the other to be, captured by jobs where your roar was seen as a behavior problem, captured by an entire culture that celebrates the mediocrity and demonizes spiritual excellence. And look at this interesting detail, chosen one. Each of these captures happens with impressive frequency before the person turns 15 years old. 15. The same number. It's not a coincidence. It's a spiritual pattern. The enemy tries to seal the lion before the age of 15 so that he never discovers what happened at 15 hours. That's why this exact moment you're hearing this is a direct attack on the entire architecture of the prison. When you hear 15 hours and something inside you reacts, that's the lion responding to the original code. It's like a guard dog recognizing its owner's whistle even after years. It's like a lock that opens only for a specific key. The 15 hours are your key. And this key, chosen one, was taken from your hand the moment they taught you that your identity was fragile, that your voice was inconvenient, that your presence was too much for the small environments where they placed you. Now think about this calmly. How many times have you been criticized for being too intense? How many times were you called excessive for feeling God in a way that others didn't? How many times were you told to tone it down, not to draw too much attention, to fit in with others, to be quiet, to not embarrass? Each of these phrases, chosen one, was a brick in the cage. And each brick was placed by someone who, consciously or not, was working for a larger system that does not tolerate awake lions. But now the lion has awakened, and when the lion awakens, chosen one, three things happen in sequence. First thing, the lion feels a strange hunger, a hunger that is not for food. It is a hunger for truth, a hunger for presence, a hunger for pure spiritual air. You are feeling it. That's why you consume this kind of content. It's not curiosity, it's lion hunger. Second thing, the lion starts to find its own reflection strange. Old photos begin to look like another person. Conversations that used to entertain you start to seem childish. Environments that once served you begin to feel tight. This is not arrogance. It's a growth of the head. The lion's head grows, and when it grows, the mane appears. And when the mane appears, it no longer fits in the hats they gave you. Third thing, the lion begins to hear other lions. You start to notice people you didn't notice before, people who carry the same frequency, people who softly roar in the midst of the crowd. It's no coincidence. It's the tribe regrouping. The lions are meeting at the 15 spiritual hours of history, and you are being called to the gathering. And it's precisely for this gathering, chosen one, that this digital book, Guide for the Chosen to Protect the Family, serves as a recognition code. This book is not just reading, It is the password circulating among awakened lions. It is the map that shows who is playing against your restored identity, what the rules are that they never told you about, how to protect your family now that the lion within you has begun to roar again, and what ancient revelations and preserved writings have already pointed to this exact moment. The moment of 15 hours, the moment of gathering, the moment when sons and daughters called before the foundation begin to recognize each other by their eyes and presence. This book was created for those who have already awakened enough to know that spiritual reality is much deeper than they teach, and who are ready to go beyond the answers that only calm the lion without ever returning the crown to him. This book returns the crown, page by page. The link is in the first post pinned at the top of the comments. But I must warn you once more. Chosen One. This type of content rarely stays available for long. What is in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, because each lion that regains the crown is a family that becomes untouchable. It is a territory that changes hands. It is an enemy that loses position on the board, and there have been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen ones, because you did not arrive at this point with this intensity in your chest, with this tear wanting to fall by accident. Comment now. I am the chosen one, and I will download the digital book. Each of these comments, chosen one, is a lion positioning itself on the map. And the map is filling up. Now that you have decided to act, chosen one, I will tell you the next truth. And this is perhaps the hardest part of this video. Because waking up as a lion hurts. No one tells you that. Waking up as a lion costs friendships. It costs family. It costs comfortable environments. It costs the approval of people who only loved you while you were tame enough not to disturb the hierarchy they defended. There is a specific type of pain that only the chosen know. It is the pain of discovering that some people, whom you considered part of your pack, were actually putting you down to appear bigger. It is the pain of realizing that certain religious environments welcomed you with smiles while whispering against your anointing. It is the pain of noticing that members of your own family carried, unknowingly, spiritual packages to keep you small, to keep you dependent, to keep you eternally a cub asking for permission to grow. And when the lion wakes up, it sees all of this suddenly, without warning, and it is overwhelming. But here is the good news, chosen one. This recognition is the beginning of your protection, because no one can betray you in a snare you have already recognized. No one can belittle you with a word whose origin you have identified. No one can steal an authority that you just remembered having since before the foundation of the world. The 15 hours do not just deliver the roar, they deliver the vision. And the vision of an awakened lion is one of the most uncomfortable things for the dark realm, because the awakened lion no longer falls for old tricks. Watch what will start to happen to you in the coming days, chosen one, if you embrace this divine provocation. First, a strange calm will appear amid the chaos. You will find yourself in situations that used to infuriate you, and you will see yourself responding with a calm firmness you didn't even know you had. This is the lion, sitting on the throne, owner of its own internal house. Second, there will come a clarity about who is who in your life. You will look at people and simply know without anyone telling you what their true role is in your story. This is lion-like discernment, and it has come to protect you. Third, a sense of direction will arise. Decisions that once paralyzed you will start to appear clear, as if a road that was shrouded in mist suddenly opened up. This is the path of the chosen one being illuminated by the spiritual midday fire that ignites at 15 hours. Fourth, and perhaps most importantly, a weight will appear. Yes, weight. Because a crown weighs chosen one. A son returning to his lion-like identity feels the weight of responsibility for the family, for the lineage, for the next generations. And this weight, far from being punishment, is privilege. It is the confirmation that God trusts you enough to return to you what you should never have lost. But there is one detail I cannot let slip. This awakening, this provocation, this restoration of identity. All of this comes accompanied by a window. The 15 hours do not last forever. There is a specific time when this frequency of awakening is intense, when the heavens are open for this type of calling, when the gathering of lions is being formed. And this window, chosen one, is now. Not in a few years, not when you feel more prepared, not when others understand you. Now. The lion that misses the awakening window goes back to sleep. And the second sleep is deeper than the first. This I need to tell you. Speak clearly, because it is not the time to soften truths. Those who are provoked by God hear, feel, and still choose to return to the domesticated version of themselves out of fear of discomfort, judgment from others, or the unease of growing. That lion falls into a stupor that can last for decades. I don't want that for you. Heaven doesn't want that for you. And above all, your family, present and future, cannot pay the price of this second sleep. That is why this exact hour is so important. That is why this video appeared for you. That is why these words are entering like arrows into your chest right now. It's not a style of writing, it's frequency. There are words that carry anointing. There are phrases that function as activation codes. There are messages that are more than just messages. They are public calls with name and spiritual address, cast into the wind in the hope they reach the recipient at the right time. This call has reached you. You are the recipient. There is no denying it anymore. And now, chosen one, I need to tell you about the roar. Because a lion without a roar is not a complete lion. The roar of the lion is not just sound. In nature, the roar of the lion marks territory, communicates presence, intimidates competitors, calls the pack, and even affects the physical health of the surrounding prey. Spiritually, your roar has all those functions multiplied. When you decide to speak from your restored identity, three things happen simultaneously. First, your spiritual territory is remarked, and everything that was unlawfully occupying it is notified that it must leave. Second, the heavenly pack is summoned, and angels who were assigned to your service but had been waiting for verbal authorization finally move. Third, the spiritual adversaries, who have grown accustomed to your silence, enter a state of panic, because a silent lion is manageable. But a lion that has opened its mouth is practically uncontrollable within the territory that God has given to it. That is why the enemy works so hard against your voice. That is why since childhood, they tried to teach you that your voice was bothersome. That is why in oppressive religious environments, they taught you that speaking was a sign of pride. That is why in families contaminated by generational witchcraft, they silenced you with looks, punishments, emotional blackmail, and distorted religion. All of this, chosen one, was an operation to prevent the roar. And now, at the 15 spiritual hours of your life, this roar is returning, and it will come back with a force proportional to the time it was repressed. This means that people will be startled. Accept it. This means that environments will reject you. Accept it. This means that some doors will close forever. Accept it. Because for every door that closes when the lion roars, 3 new doors open. Doors that have been waiting for you, but that only recognize a true lion. They cannot recognize a disguised cat. The doors of purpose do not open for the domesticated version of you. They only respond to the frequency of your original identity. And speaking of original identity, chosen one, I need to remind you of something you may have forgotten. Before the name on your registry, before the family you were born into, before the culture you grew up in, before even the form of your body, there was an eternal name written over you. This name was spoken by the Father before the foundation of the world, and it contains within it the entire design of your mission, the whole map of your authority, the entire celestial registry of your inheritances. This name, chosen one, is Leonine. It is not fragile. It is not mediocre. It cannot fit within the boxes that they have tried to place you in all your life. And it is precisely this name that vibrates within you now, at 15 hours, generating this particular restlessness, this strange hunger, this feeling that you were made for so much more than what you have been living. It is not frustration, it is memory. It is the memory of the original name trying to overshadow the false names that were imposed on you. It is heaven whispering, remember who you are. While the earth screams forget, stay small, stay conformed, be grateful for what they throw at you. Do not obey the earth today, chosen one. Obey the heaven. Remember, remember, remember. And now, chosen one, I need to close this meeting with you the way it needs to be closed. Because a waking lion that is not equipped becomes an exhausted lion. And an exhausted lion, without a map, without community, without understanding the rules of the territory, is a lion that can be taken down by a simple ambush well set at the first spiritual corner of your new life. That's why, before you close this video, I ask you with my heart in my hand, grab the digital book. The Guide for the Chosen to Protect the Family is not just a book. It's not just reading. It's the field equipment for the newly awakened lion. It's the map that shows who is playing against your restored identity and against your house now that your frequency has changed. It's the rules they never told you about how to keep the crown steady after 15 hours. It's revelations about the exact moment we are living in, about the groups of chosen ones that are forming, about the traps that have been specifically prepared to try to capture newly awakened lions before they can structure the defense of their own family. This book was created for those who have already awakened enough to know that the spiritual reality is much deeper than what they teach out there, and who are ready to go beyond the shallow answers that merely lull the lion back to sleep. This book does not lull, this book arms, this book crowns. The link is in the first pinned comment at the top. And I need to warn you one last time, Chosen One, this kind of content rarely stays available for long. What's in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, because every family that seals around a waking lion is one less fortress on the enemy's map, and there have been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, Chosen Ones, because you didn't arrive at this last part of the video exactly at this hour, exactly feeling what you're feeling, with this decision burning in your chest by accident. You have been summoned. Download now and comment out loud if possible. I am chosen and I will download the digital book. This is your third roar. The first was to awaken. The second was to speak. The third is to act. And to act, Chosen One, is what separates the real lion from the lion that dreamed it was a lion for a few hours and then went back to lying down. I leave you with one last image, and I want it to be tattooed in your mind. Imagine the exact moment of 15 hours, there at Golgotha. Imagine the veil tearing. Imagine the earth shaking. Imagine the sun hiding. And imagine, in the midst of all this, an invisible lion lifting its head for the first time in every child that would come afterward, including you. This lion has slept for a long time inside you, but it woke up today. It woke up now. It woke up at 15 hours, and it will not sleep again. You are chosen. You are a lion. Your family will be protected. Your roar will fulfill what it was sent to fulfill. And the entire heavens bend in this moment to confirm all of this about you. Go. Grab the book, make your comment, and start living finally like the lion that God called by name before even forming you in the womb. The 15 hours have come, and they have come for you.